One last thing I got to ask you real quick.
Sure.
Democrats are going to shuffle up the primary calendar. Thank God. But then they say, let's do South Carolina. And it makes me want to slam my head into the desk because I've been saying for many years, start with a swing state. Start with a swing state because you spend millions of dollars. You spend 6 months to 12 months walking around the whole state. Do it in a place where you actually could sway the way the voters in that state vote in the primary or the general. So let's say, Jeff Waldorf, you have unilateral authority to pick the first primary and or caucus state. And Jeff, with his overall number one pick, has picked what state?
I actually would not pick one state specifically. I would actually have a rolling. You see, you go to whichever swing state is most important, most representative of the average American voter, not Democrat, not Republican, but average American voter. I don't think it should be located in one state for eternity. I don't think that system makes sense. I don't think holding the first primary in Iowa made any sense whatsoever. And not no disrespect to the people of Iowa.
Good people.
But I just don't think it made sense to do it in places that are, again, not competitive when it comes to general elections, and to keep it in one place because you know how demographics change. People will move. Some states will see an increase in populations. Other states will see a decrease in populations, and you'll see changes in voting patterns. And so what I think the primaries need to do is to follow the states that are most representative of what a general election looks like. So you avoid the issue of, for example, putting it in California, because that wouldn't make sense, because that's, overwhelmingly, slanted to one side. It's not representative, whatever. But also putting it in, as I said, Iowa or Alabama or Florida, if those states happen to be most representative of the electorate, then by all means. And by the way, that also gives every different state a chance to have the benefits and understand that this is what this fight is all about. The benefits of tourism and ad spending in that state that goes to local media outlets and have it spread around so that everyone has a chance. I think that seems to be the most fair system. And given how that's that's a fact, we're never going to do it.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
And it gets me too, when the Democrats are doing their autopsy reports, whether they win or lose elections, it's usually like, well, how can we better reach the voters in Wisconsin? How can we better reach the voters in Michigan? Well, I don't know. Maybe spend 6 months and $50 million walking around the state and knocking on doors, which is what you do in Iowa, and you're never going to win Iowa. So, yes, Michigan is far more representative of what the country looks like. Wisconsin, it's overwhelmingly white, but it's still a swing state with a decent number of electoral college votes. And if we can't abolish that, then I guess we still got to think about it.
Right.
But Nevada's a good example. Hell, even Georgia, North Carolina. And so there are places where instead of looking back and saying, why didn't we reach these voters? It's because you just spent 12 months at the Iowa State Fair eating corn dogs with a bunch of people who would never vote for you in a general election. So I'm glad they are changing it, but it's still a swing and a miss to me.
Right. I think you're still going to end up with a similar problem. And I get why they would choose South Carolina, because, you have black voters that are the backbone of the Democratic Party, and you want to appeal to them as well, even if you're not going to, or very unlikely to have an impact on the general election as far as the electoral college goes. I get it. I get the decision. Is it more like, I got a question for you. Do you think that's more pandering towards the black vote in South Carolina, this decision?
I feel like it is.
Okay.
Then
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they picked South Carolina, which you could have done the same thing in a state Not that I want them to pander, but
Right.
I do think they're trying to, do a Lindsey Graham, Herschel Walker thing. Like, oh, look at us. Look what we're giving you, buddies. Like, come on. Don't be so patronizing to the voters. They can see through this. And, of course, oh, Biden won huge in South Carolina. Yeah, we get it. We get it. But South Carolina's better than Iowa. I give them that. But,
Yeah,
but
at least when it comes to primary votes, for sure.
yeah. And because Iowa, I think I looked it up a couple days ago, it was like 91% white. So
And
definitely
I'll
not
agree with you.
representative.
For sure. And again, that's why I agree with you on South Carolina being a better choice than Iowa, because at least in like performatively, you're saying, to black voters in South Carolina, hey, we actually give a shit now. Well, that's good. We should do more policy that shows that we give a shit. Give black voters more, more good policy that helps them as well. But yeah, still better than Iowa. And again, no hatred towards Iowa or South Carolina or any of the states that didn't get mentioned. It just, again, doesn't seem as representative to what we see in the general election. So I guess from that standpoint, that's why I arrive at that conclusion. But looking at the Democratic Party, I can see why they came to the conclusion that they came to.
Yeah, it's almost predictable at this point. Hey, look, fix it all. Just do it all in the same day. Every state, every day, get it done. Break it up into quadrants if you want. Like we got 4 days of voting. Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, and then Northwest. Sorry, I forgot what they were called. They're so far. I'm down here in Florida. They're way up there in Oregon and Washington. But no, listen, Jeff Waldorf, Around the Nation is the show. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Sure, you can find me on youtube.com/Waldorf Nation. That's 4 p.m. Eastern every day. We do a live stream, a little bit of a live stream, have some fun. We do that also on Twitch, same time, same place. That's twitch.tv/Jeff_Waldorf. And of course, our Facebook page, which is actually doing quite well as of late, is facebook.com/Jeff Waldorf Show. You can catch us all at the same time in those platforms and, check out our videos and all that.
Jeff Waldorf, thank you so much for talking with us today. I appreciate you taking the entire time. I know I kept you for a while, so thank you very much.
Well, it was my pleasure. Thank you again. Let's do it again later.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.